On the odd occasion, I get a WhatsApp message from Nick and Samantha Brownley, who you have heard me mention numerous times on this channel, and it's usually to thank them for something. I say it's only very occasionally that I get a message from Nick, because he's a very quiet chap and rarely communicates, but today he communicated one of those rare events, which is me going in a roundabout way saying that he WhatsApps me with news of something that they found nearly every day, and to which I'm eternally grateful, because quite often it's something I want to see or I would like to film. Today's little WhatsApp message was to say that they'd found a flatworm, so I hastily drove off to meet them at Clumber, at the Applehead Lodge end of Clumber, which is right alongside the 614. But I was surprised at what flatworm that turned up. Now, I don't get excited. Flatworms aren't everybody's cup of tea, but people should take an interest in them because they are unwanted and potentially a large threat to our earthworm population and probably other invertebrates too. However, to see this particular flatworm that Nick and Samantha had collected for me, well, really you need a good magnifying glass, because this, in its present state, on this leaf, measures no more than about 4 millimeters in length. When stretched out, it's no more than a centimetre in length. But it's a beauty, an absolute beauty. And it's Marion adventa, and it should be in New Zealand. What's worrying about this species is that this wasn't found in a garden or a garden centre. It didn't come in with plants or pots. Well, not into a garden it didn't, because this one was found in some woodland near the Applehead Lodge end of Clumber Park. What was a species native to New Zealand doing in Clumber Park in the middle of a plantation? The answer probably lies on the road, the A614, which is a main trunk road really through Nottinghamshire, and it links Nottingham with the A1 heading north. And across the road from the gates of Clumber Park on the A614 is a lorry stop, or a transport cafe frequented by numerous lorries. And I think that you won't see this, but I'll point to it anyway, that this flatworm possibly or most likely originated via transport. It could also have originated by people dumping the garden waste, which is something that happens increasingly in lay-bys in Nottinghamshire. But I'll put some photos in as we go along, as you'll have probably seen, because this really is an absolute beauty of a flatworm. And flatworms, as I mentioned in a recent video, they really ought to be studied and recorded more, because we don't want most species in Nottinghamshire. There are 2 or 3 or so native species that are small, but quite frankly larger than this particular individual. So my thanks to Nick and Samantha for providing me with this specimen. I still don't know how they found this, but it was underneath a fallen branch or a log, as far as I'm aware. But it's tiny, and they paid attention to my recent video on Australopacifica atrata, and they remembered, or at least Sam remembered, that flatworms, when they move, they hold the head off the soil surface or the substrate that they're on. But I still don't realise or imagine how she could see this small thing, which is just starting to move now. So I need to get some more photographs so I can stick them in with this video. Otherwise, you just sat there looking at a bloke holding a leaf. But it's quite a remarkable record. Nottinghamshire's second record. But it's going to be a long time before there's a third, I'm sure, especially for something only a few millimetres in length.